Okay, my best serve, yeah? Okay. Nice try.
What is happening, people? In this review, we're joined with pro player Patrick Franziska, fresh from beating Marlon at the recent WTT Champions tournament. So Butterfly recently released the Franziska Innerforce ZLC. It's a 7-ply inner carbon blade, meaning it has 2 layers of outer wood followed by 1 carbon layer. The weight of the blade I used here came in at 87 grams. We paired this with Patrick's go-to rubbers, the Dignics 09C on the forehand and Dignics 05 on the backhand. So guys, I'm sure you've all seen it, Patrick over the last few years has been an absolute force on the international scene. I mean, just check out these backhands. I've never seen anything quite like it. As I said, Patrick's backhand is ferocious. He loves a strong and direct topspin attack, and this is where the Innerforce style blade has most of its advantages. It has a good amount of control for a carbon blade, allowing you to have safety in your topspin strokes.
It's like a rocket launcher. Yeah.
I never have it.
When using an Innerforce style blade in general, it really does give you the sense that you get more time on the ball. This gives you more confidence in pressure situations when compared to a regular carbon blade with 1 layer of wood before the carbon layer, where you feel there is less forgiveness and room for error.
Nice.
So Patrick used an Innerforce style blade. How comes you went for the Innerforce style with 2 outlets of wood and 1 carbon rather than like 1 wood, 1 carbon?
Yeah, just like a little bit of soft touch that it gives you. I like that it allows you to maybe have a little bit longer ball contact, a little bit more longer dwell time. So I can adjust a little bit more when I hit the ball. Like I'm a tall guy, I'm not always perfectly standing for the ball. And so when I'm a little bit late maybe, I still get this time in my racket to decide what I will do, like this millisecond, and this is what I like the most also in the touch game, in the short game. Yeah. Like I have a little bit more time in the passive game, so yeah, the passive game is what was, some element but I was not so happy about it in my own game, and like with this blade I feel I have much more control over the first 2 balls.
Yeah, this feeling of holding that the Franziska blade gives you also helps when counter topspinning close to the table. I really enjoyed how I could counter and keep the ball in play with good quality. You can feel the outer plies giving you that dampening effect to allow you to hold the ball. For example, with my bowl LC, it does feel like the ball shoots off quicker. With the Franziska, I felt like it stayed on the bat longer and gave me more control.
Feeling the pressure. Oh! Sorry, I just had to do it.
You're a fast learner.
Yeah. You were teaching me earlier, so you know. Okay, 10 off, I can finish. 10, no pressure. Aha! 11, 10.
Yo!
11. Hey.
Patience.
11, 12. Must be quite proud to have your own blade.
Yeah, I was.
Is it cool? Like you look at me, oh, my name's on the blade.
It was actually when the request came, I was like speaking with my wife and my parents, and like I think I got tears in my eyes because it felt so, like to have your own blade from Butterfly was like since you're a child, it's like only these real legends like Timo, Corbel and so on, they had like these blades, and it was a massive moment.
Amazing.
Now with the Franziska blade, it uses the ZL carbon, which is a fast carbon. However, with the 2 layers of wood in front of it, it feels softer and more forgiving, helping to play against backspin. Now don't get me wrong, this is still a fast carbon blade, just that it's more forgiving than traditional carbon blades as mentioned. To me, it feels like the Franziska is slightly slower than the Harimoto Innerforce ZLC and a touch stiffer.
Oh!
That's good.
What is like the disadvantages then for this style? Or
Obviously for me, I feel it's the right balance, but
yeah.
like when I speak with other players, they feel like they need more shorter contact for their strokes. Like they like this feeling to have that you touch the ball and it goes out very quick, because of course you can disturb the opponent a little bit more when the ball comes out like a wall, like much quicker.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said, for me this soft touch feels a little bit nicer, and also when you're far from the table you probably have to use more body, like you have to fight more with the ball.
Yeah.
Following on there from what Patrick said, I did find sometimes I needed more legs on my forehand to get the ball over the net. Of course, I'm very much used to a faster carbon blade, and this is exactly what Patrick is saying. If you're used to these blades, you may find you need to use more legs and body to get more drive into your strokes with the Innerforce ZLC.
Like I also feel when I like to play with my wrist a lot, like in the backhand and in the forehand, and I really feel that I can go like around the ball more.
Yeah.
As with a direct contact, I feel I have to hit it more flat and more straight away. Like for my style, this is quite, like the feeling is quite nice.
So there we go guys, the Franziska Innerforce ZLC blade. What a player, had a great time reviewing the blade with him today. An interesting review this one, another pro player opting for the Innerforce style of blade. So yeah, let's see how this Innerforce stacks up to other blades in the TTD ratings. As always guys, first up speed, we're giving this blade an 8.2. Because it's got the 2 outer wood plies, it brings the speed down. And you'll find, like Patrick mentioned, you do need to use a bit more effort when at mid distance. Now in terms of flex and feeling, it's slightly stiffer than the Harimoto ALC, but more flexible than a T-Mobile ALC. This means it's good for counters, blocks, and solid topspin strokes, which are all rated at 8.5. For me, overall, the main advantages of these Innerforce carbon blades is in the serve and receive department, and especially when touching short around the net and flicking close around the table. You just have more control than the traditional carbon blades. It doesn't shoot off as quickly. So for the Franziska, we've given it an 8.5. Now the last thing we haven't talked about is its price. Because this blade uses the ZL carbon, it comes in at a higher price point of 249 euros, whereas the AL carbon blades tend to be quite a bit cheaper. Now, you're not getting any higher quality with the ZL carbon when compared to the AL carbon, but you do get different performance properties. So there we go guys, the Franziska review. This is a great blade for intermediate to advanced players. Definitely don't recommend it for beginners, it would be far too quick. But for a carbon blade, this does have a lot of control. It's very good in the passive game, and of course countering, which I really liked with this blade. You know, I do think with these 2 outer layers of wood really does help with carbon blades now. It just gives you a lot more control. As Patrick mentioned, you can use a lot of power while still maintaining the control because it doesn't shoot off too quickly. As always guys, stay tuned for the One Set Showdown where I play against Patrick, and you can also win a signed Franziska blade. If you haven't already seen the recent video I posted with Patrick where he's teaching me his backhand topspin, be sure to check that out in the description below. It's a fun one. Guys, be sure to like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.